This week in sports starts us off in the NBA. And man, once again, that was some smoke in the city. Since the opening tip-off of the season, these players have been at odds completely. I'm talking about they've been at odds like the Hatfields and the McCoys. They've been at odds like the Crips and Bloods. Man, these niggas been at odds like Cindy Hyde-Smith and Common Sense. But I digress. Listen, over in Golden State, you had a situation that finally reached ahead and blew up in front of the world. Draymond dunking from Shrek Green and Kevin Slenderman Durant got into it, and they say the sparks was flying like the 4th of July. Now, the stories that I've read said that Draymond Green called Kevin Durant all type of bitches and went so far as to threaten to brush this nigga's hair forcefully. Now, Durant didn't take that shit too lightly. All 87 pounds of him said, fuck you, that's why I'm leaving. Y'all need me, I don't need y'all. And that's true, because Draymond talking all that shit, telling KD he need to leave. But I distinctly remember back in the day him calling from the parking lot after LeBron James and them beat the shit out of Golden State historically and asked KD for help. Now, whatever happened in the locker room had to be bad enough for the team to suspend Draymond Green without pay, and he didn't like that shit at all. Now, I don't know what's gonna happen from here, but I tell you what, everything in Golden State ain't all good, and they better hurry up and get Steph Curry back before that shit fall apart. Elsewhere in the NBA, the Houston Rockets, whom I said was gonna win at 6 last year, but fucking Chris Paul can't stay healthy at all. I think the nigga's a hypochondriac, but whatever. So the Rockets decided to part ways with Carmelo Anthony. And man, this nigga has been getting roasted. I'm talking about roasted. So the Rockets, in the middle of a funk, losing game after game, decided, fuck it, it's his fault. Let's get rid of that nigga. He's the reason why we losing. And at first I was like, well, I don't know. But after getting rid of him, they have went on a tear, winning the last 3 games. So he might have been the problem. Now, as far as Carmelo, I don't know where he goes from here. But my guess, after seeing Lala bust it open for a real one on Power, he take his ass home. At least I would. Over in the NFL, you had a highly anticipated game between 2 9-1 teams, the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Rams, scheduled to take place down in Mexico City this week. Well, after pictures of the field surfaced, the NFL said, we ain't playing on that shit, and canceled the game and moved it to LA. Now, I don't know if you guys seen the pictures of that field, but that motherfucker is terrible. Just plain terrible. I'm talking about that field looks like the field from The Longest Yard. Nah, that field was worse than the field from the movie Sandlot, with washing machines, potholes, and everything else in it. Nah, that field was worse than the field from the movie Wildcats. And if you ain't seen it, go look it up. That field was a piece of shit. Now, I don't know who was in charge of taking care of the field, but whoever it was obviously found a stash of Jose Cuervo and Don Julio and really got after it. Now, my sources tell me that after they found out who did it and got ready to fire his ass, on the way out the door, he left him with the middle finger and said, "Vete a la mierda y ese campo." Elsewhere in the NFL, the saga is finally over and done with, and everybody can move on. Le'Veon Bell, who had been sitting out all year because he didn't want to play under the $14.5 million franchise. $14.5 million? Damn. Anyways, he didn't want to play on the franchise tag because he was worried about getting hurt and getting fucked over by the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I can't even blame him. Well, he had until Tuesday to report to the team or he will not be able to play again this year. And he said, man, look, I'm all about my money, big money, not that small time shit. I want some guaranteed bread. Y'all didn't want to give it to me, so guess what?
Fuck that. Pay me.
Now, in response to this, the team decided to move on, and the players in the locker room ransacked his locker, took all this shit. Damn, that's how much they cared about you, my nigga. Didn't even wait for the ink to dry before they got your shit. But in the end, it worked out for both teams. The Steelers got James Conner, who's running the ball quite well and about to lead me to 2 fantasy league championships and some bread. And Le'Veon Bell about to get broke off. At least 50 plus million guaranteed, so it's a win-win for everybody. And finally, in boxing news, Floyd Mayweather, I'm sick of this nigga. He has said that the fight is back on, but it ain't really a fight. It's just an exhibition. He's supposed to take on Nakasawa in a mixed bout where there's no fighting other than boxing, which works out for him because Nakasawa been kicking niggas' heads off left and right. Now, this isn't a real fight per se. It's just an exhibition where Floyd's gonna get even more money than what he already has. So I ain't mad at you, bro. Get that bread. But if it comes to real fight, sit your ass down and stay at the house. This week's episode of the Sports Rundown has been brought to you by the fine folks over at Hennessy. I drank it and it fuels my thoughts. I will see you guys next week.